let's get into expungement. All right. And so some time ago, we rolled out a feature. In fact, I'm going to bring up this case right here that I was working with earlier. And inside this case, I have Jack Marshall. All right. And so not too long ago, we rolled out a feature where you could expunge people out of the system. All right. And so if I went in here and put in a court order and a court date and a judge, it would take everything that's known about Jack Marshall and it would wipe that data clean. And if you remember from a previous webinar, I'm not going to dig into all this today, but one of the things I mentioned earlier, when you go in and do that expungement, it not only removes all the current data on that person, it removes everything historically on that person. Jack Marshall will no longer exist in the system, including all the logging records. It gets rid of everything. All right. But one of the problems people pointed out was if Jack Marshall belonged to multiple cases, it was expunging him out of every case, and they didn't want that. So let me show you what we've done. I'm going to click on Jack Marshall's name, and I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the screen, and you can see right now Jack Marshall is involved in 3 different cases right now. This case right here, this one, and the one that I was in. All right, word of warning. You are able to do, I think, hold on here. I thought I could do an expunge from this screen. Maybe it's a, hold on, let me go in, let me do it a different way. I'm going to go in here and do a search for Jack Marshall. All right. And I think his name's got 2 L's on it. Yes. Okay. Word of warning. If you do a search for Jack Marshall and you do an expunge from this screen, he will be expunged out of the entire system in every case. The update that we just rolled out now allows you to expunge him from within the case, and it will only expunge him in this case. In fact, the warning up at the top says he's going to be removed from this case. So if I go in now and say, yep, I want to expunge Jack Marshall, I'm going to put my court record in, I'm going to put the date in, Judge Bob, and I hit OK, we still get our warning, hey, this is not reversible, we're going to expunge it. I click OK. We can now see Jack Marshall is out of, I mean, he's still in the case. I mean, he's not. There is a record that something was in the case, but he's been expunged. The difference is now because I expunged him from inside the case, if I go back and do a search for Jack, or here, let's go up here and type in Marshall in my handy dandy new global search window. And now I'm going to go down to people and click on Jack Marshall now. By the way, that was a cool, I could go up there and type in Marshall in my quick search, and now it was one less click to get to where I needed to be. Now you'll see he is involved in 2 cases. There is no reference from him in that 3rd case. So that's the big update. Now you you can expunge a person out of a single case instead of across the entire system. Okay. Somebody asked a question, if there was a transaction on your chain of custody that involved this expunged person, does the name still show up on the chain of custody? I believe the answer to that is they are expunged everywhere. Their name is not going to exist, but I would want to test that. I really would want to test that out and make sure that that statement is correct. Because Dana, I'm not totally sure about that. So Dana asked that question. Max, can you throw that down as one of the questions I need to get back with people on? We'll have a list of everybody that showed up to the webinar today. I will send everybody these questions and then the answers after I find them out. So I'll find that out for you, Dana.
Yep, add it to the list.
Yeah, somebody asked the question, and I will tell you, I do know the answer to this. When you do that expungement, if the name of that person is in the name of a media file, or if it's inside of a note, it does not expunge that. All right, we don't just go throughout the system looking for any instance of the name of that person. We're looking for very specific data, including first name, last name, and we're only expunging that person data. So that's why I might lean toward my answer being for Dana. No, it is not expunging them on the transaction. And I don't think that it would. Now, should it? That I don't know. The reason we don't do it out of notes or media is because we don't tie that name of that person in that text field to that specific person. So we don't just go throughout the system and do that. Okay, what about chain of custody notes? I would say no. Any notes like that, it is not going to expunge any of that data. Because again, from our side, just going in and looking at note fields and text strings, man, that is impossible to work with. So it's not going to do that. I'm certain of that. Okay, I'll get back to the answer on the other one and get with you on that. Will the court order number come up in the case info? Yeah, so Dave, yes, that court order number will come up inside your case info when you and I actually think now you're putting me on the spot. Where does that come up with? I know it's in there somewhere. I don't know where that's listed at. Max, write that one down to the court order one. I need to find out where does it list that court order information at, because I don't know.
Okay.
This is a lot of fun. There was a day and time I knew every answer to everything, and this shows you how far removed I am from all of these things, that I don't know every answer to everything anymore. It allows me to keep my humility in play. I can't get too proud on this side because I don't know everything about everything. Okay. All right. I think that's everything on that one. We're coming down to the bottom here.